Welcome to the Author's Corner Review, brought to you by KNEO Radio 91.7 FM. I'm Roberta Foster, and today I'm going to be sharing nonfiction books with you that are kind of categorized as how to help yourself, to understand yourself better. Give yourself permission to say no, to feel better, to get better, and to truly be yourself. Mental health advocate and podcast host Jennifer Renee Watson helps women rediscover their purpose and healing outside of shame. In a world that tells us to fit the mold instead of breaking it, struggling with mental health isn't a weakness. So what can we do about it? Jennifer Renee Watson, author and co-host of the popular More Than Small Talk podcast, is encouraging women to break free from depression and anxiety and rediscover themselves and their true purpose in her new book, What If You're Doing Better Than You Think? Finding Courage and Confidence When Life Gets Messy. She explains that struggles are an invitation to pay attention to the need for self-care and restructure your life to work for you, not against you. Jennifer teaches the many changes women can make in their lives, how to move forward, how to find peace and balance instead of resorting to hyperproductivity, and how to invest in relationships with people who make the world a better and safer place. She asks readers, what do you really want, and who do you really want to be? Women who feel they have lost their spark, who don't feel like themselves any longer, will discover hope for a better future, a better and truer life within these pages. Jennifer Renee Watson is a fierce advocate for mental health and abuse survivors who are bravely healing from unresolved trauma and finding their voice. Co-host of the popular More Than Small Talk podcast, she has spoken at churches and conferences all over the U.S. You can connect with Jennifer at jenniferreneewatson.com. Our next book is by Carolyn Roberts. Move beyond the pressures and expectations and embrace the beauty of being in her book, Beauty of Being, and this is published by Whitaker House. It can be tempting to get lost in the grind, to focus on what we're lacking or what could be. Our entire lives can become a series of looking backward and forward, comparing our worth to what we see around us, endlessly striving for a certain level of success or acceptance. But our value is already within us, already bought and paid for by a God who loves us, and knowing that can change how we live today. In her book, The Beauty of Being, Strive Less and Live More with God as Your Guide, best-selling author and speaker Carolyn Roberts encourages women to stop focusing on the what-ifs, drop the comparisons, rest in their identities as daughters of God, and embrace both who and where they are right now. Carolyn shows women how to embrace the beauty of being while becoming. Be themselves in an age of competition and comparison. Live in the moment and experience life more abundantly. You are more than enough, just as you are. Break free from the box and learn to live more authentically. Walk in His purpose, overcome societal pressures, and embrace your identity as a beloved child of God. Carolyn Roberts is a best-selling author and speaker who is blazing the trail for change makers and transformational leaders around the globe. Through her YouTube channel, she impacts and inspires subscribers worldwide. Carolyn's women's ministry, DearDaddy.com, was created for women to embrace their God-given identity and daughters of the King and grow in intimacy with the Father. You can connect with her at Carolyn, spelled KAROLYNE.com, and on social media at Carolyn Roberts. And that's the book, The Beauty of Being by Carolyn Roberts, published by Whitaker House. Our next book is part of the Ask the Christian Counselor series, published by New Growth Press, and it's called Do I Need Boundaries? Seeking to Please God by Learning to Say No. And it's written by Jim Neuheiser. Counselor Jim Neuheiser helps readers learn to use biblical wisdom when setting boundaries with their relationships with family, friends, co-workers, and churches. Do you struggle to say no to others' demands on your time and their expectations for how you relate to them? Not setting wise boundaries can leave us exhausted and bitter. Neuheiser offers practical advice and biblical principles for prioritizing pleasing God rather than pleasing others or even ourselves. Using real-life scenarios to teach us how to manage difficult situations, Do I Need Boundaries highlights how our struggles to set limits in relationships are often due to having the wrong motives, and offers a Christ-centered alternative to popular cultural solutions. This book offers biblical principles for setting boundaries with time, money, and emotional resources in a variety of circumstances and situations. It'll help you to learn how to address heart issues that lead to overcommitment and people-pleasing. Part of the Ask the Christian Counselor series, walking readers through their deepest and most profound questions, and its compact format goes deeper than New Growth Press's popular mini-books without overwhelming the reader. Jim Neuheiser is director of the Christian Counseling Program and professor of Christian Counseling and Pastoral Theology at Reformed Theological Seminary in Charlotte, North Carolina. He's the executive director of the Institute for Biblical Counseling and Discipleship, a fellow of the Association of Certified Biblical Counselors, and a council member of the Biblical Counseling Coalition. And he is the author of several books, including Marriage, Divorce, and Remarriage, and other mini-books. And that's Do I Need Boundaries by Jim Neuheiser, published by New Growth Press. And our next book is called The Gospel-Centered Community for Teens, and it's a study guide with leaders' notes available, written by Robert H. Thuney and Will Walker, published by New Growth Press and part of Surge, Grace at the Fray. The Gospel-Centered Community for Teens will give teenagers biblical and practical guidance for building deep friendships and being part of a community where they can grow and flourish. Have you ever noticed that it's hard to live with people and it's hard to live without them? Real relationships are hard to come by. It's easy to feel isolated and alone, even when surrounded by people at school and home. But deep friendships and being a part of a caring community make our lives more meaningful. In this small group study, teenagers will learn with others about God's good plan for us to connect and grow together and how following Christ makes that possible. The Spirit takes people from all different backgrounds and shapes them into a Christ-centered community that reflects Jesus. Teenagers will find a place to belong where people love, care for, enjoy, serve, and even challenge one another in good ways. There are 8 lessons in this small group study along with leaders' notes. Each self-contained lesson includes a Bible passage, discussion questions, a short article, and an application exercise. And there's also an easy-to-follow roadmap for building a beautiful community based on love for God and others. The Gospel-Centered Community for Teens study guide will help you and your small group get on the same page when it comes to living in Christian community. It champions faith and fellowship, emphasizing that the essential quality of Christian community is faith, expressing itself through love. And that's the book, The Gospel-Centered Community for Teens Study Guide and Leader's Note, by Robert Thuney and Will Walker, published by New Growth Press. Robert Thuney is founding and lead pastor of Coram Deo Church in Omaha, Nebraska. He's the author of numerous other books, and in addition to his work as a pastor and writer, he helps to lead a classical Christian school, coaches and trains church leaders, and serves on the Council of the Gospel Coalition. And Will Walker is the lead pastor of Providence Church in Austin, Texas. He and his wife Debbie are parents of 2 boys. So recapping the books that I've told you about, I have The Gospel-Centered Community for Teens Study Guide with Leader's Note by Robert Thuney and Will Walker, published by New Growth Press. Do I Need Boundaries, part of the Ask Christian Counselor series, seeking to please God by learning to say no. It's written by Jim Neuheiser, published by New Growth Press. And then we had the book, The Beauty of Being, Strive Less and Live More with God as Your Guide, by Carolyn Roberts, published by Whitaker House. And the first book, What If You're Doing Better Than You Think? Finding Courage and Confidence When Life Gets Messy, written by Jennifer Renee Watson, published by Whitaker House. If you'd like more information on these books, you can visit the publisher's website. And if you'd like to hear this review again or share it with another, you can find it on your favorite podcast platform or through kneo.org. This has been Roberta Foster with your Author's Corner Review. Join me again next time on KNEO 91.7 FM, The Word.